Call this work session to order. Invocation given by myself and the pledge led by Mr. Patrick Stewart. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come together this evening, we pause to give you thanks and lift up your name. Father, we again ask you for knowledge of your will for this city and the strength and the power to carry that out. Father, we continue to ask for your blessings over this city, over its citizens, and over its workers. It's in your precious name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda this evening is Goosebawn Island, Keller Lumber. Scotty, are you going to talk to us?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Scotty Fleming with Keller Lumber Company. This is Drew Benson. Keller Lumber Company is interested in purchasing some timber in the city of Scottsboro on Goosebawn Island. We believe that harvesting timber periodically is needed to keep land healthy and productive. The last timber that was harvested on the island was done in about 2011 and 12 by Keller Lumber Company. We did a pine thinning on approximately 90 acres of natural pine stands on the island. At that time, there was about 30 more acres of solid natural pine stands that was immature. It was not developed enough to actually do it then. It would not have been recommendable at that age. Since that time, that 30-acre area has developed enough that at this point in time would be advisable for you guys to consider thinning to help it grow and to prevent beetle infestations and overgrowth. In addition to that 30 acres, there's approximately 150 acres on the island and a couple of different tracts, but all on the island, that consist of natural pine, cedar, and mature hardwoods. It would be our suggestion that you consider harvesting all the pine and cedar on that area and selectively harvesting the hardwoods of about a 16-inch stump diameter. And that would be a management plan designed for future growth and yield of the timber stand, managing for timberland growth and yield, rather than development or anything like that. So that would preserve and maintain the property in a healthy forest state that it's in. We would appreciate you guys considering that in your dealings. Of course, there's a lot more acreage there on the island than what we're talking about cutting. We're not necessarily talking about clear cutting anything or going over the entire acreage on the island, which I think is maybe 600 acres plus or minus. So we're not talking about doing anything massive or major to the whole island, but certain areas that we feel like would be advisable at this time to have some activity on. And again, periodically harvesting timber that's needed. It's just a tool to help keep the forest healthy for future growth and yield. One other thing I would like to mention, and one reason I'm here tonight, is because over the last several years we've had virtually no market for pine pulpwood and almost no market for pine saw timber. As with the economy, the changes in the market, we are just now getting into a better position. We don't know the future. We don't know if that's going to last forever or if it's going to be a window of opportunity. So that's why we're here asking you to consider this. A year from now, we would still be interested. We might not be able to, talk to the same type of thing we're offering now. So, although the hardwood market has been stable, it's always going to be stable in our opinion. The saw timber market's stable. The pine and cedar markets have been highly volatile. You guys have a lot of that on the island. They would be advisable to consider that at this time. Does anybody have any questions, or maybe I could elaborate a little bit? I printed this off. I know some of you guys may or may not be familiar with the island. But this is the old industrial park, and this is the outline of the island. The red boundary that you see here and on this point is basically almost the property boundary. It doesn't go up here in the slough, but this green area that I've got drawn within that overall red area is the previous harvest we did in about 2012. It's a natural pine stand that currently averages about 80 square feet of basal area currently. When we thinned it in 2012, we were targeting about 60 to 70 square feet of basal area. But keep in mind, this is a natural stand, it's not planted. So it's possible to go out and randomly find an area that was understocked. And it was always understocked, even before we got there. So it's diverse, but if you take an inventory of basal area measurements on all of this pine stand here, you will get about 80 square feet of basal area, which is a healthy stocking for that site. And just to report that area is healthy, and we're not necessarily proposing to do anything again on that 90 acres until a later time.
Questions, comments, concerns?
I think you answered mine on the clear cutting and the amount of acres. That was, I guess, one of my questions that I had, but you covered that.
I don't know if I mentioned value, or if I brought that up.
I mean,
Did I say? My notes are kind of random, I apologize, but based on the scope of my suggested cutting pattern, conservative value estimate would be $40,000 to $50,000 netted to the city. And that would be conservative. If you guys directed me to look at more revenue versus timber, that's flexible. There's more money in timber on that. But based on a pure professional forestry opinion as to manage healthy and broken, that's about the amount of volume if we were managing it as our own.
Is there any way to pin it down a little closer than the 40 or 50,000? And we don't know how many trees we've got.
Well,
You don't really know how many trees we've got.
I get that question a lot, but yeah, a little more time, so that's fine. We can do an inventory cruise and we can narrow that scope down, but we can also guarantee a minimum based on the harvest plan description that we might agree on. For example, my suggestion would be to cut all pine and cedar. Now, when I say all pine, I'm not talking about the thin stands. I'm talking about roughly 150 acres where there's natural scattered pine, in contrast to the solid pine stands that we've already thinned, or the 30-acre pine stand we're proposing to thin. Besides that, there's about 150 acres of mixed natural pine, cedar, and hardwood. And that 150 acres pine is more of a short-lived species because it's being crowded in hardwood. Eventually it will die off, and a lot of it has already died off. Harvesting all pine in that area would basically be a salvage type harvest. So it would be my recommendation to cut all pine within that area, cut all cedar in that area, and do a 16-inch diameter limit cut. And it would be, like I said, a conservative estimate of 40 to 50,000. Typically, when we do things like that, we're not opposed to guaranteeing a minimum or paying advance payment, or even a high percentage of that as a deposit, and guaranteeing conservative estimates on our company are basically guaranteed. So we feel confident that you can bank on the estimate I'm giving you, but hope for weights and scales and grades to significantly yield more than that. But
Will you be able to give us a copy of what he's got in his hand there? And will it be itemized as to which one of those areas that we're talking about?
I would be glad to do that.
Reason I asked, last time, I believe it was the last time y'all were here, or maybe before when we left here, me and another councilman decided we'd like to go look at it.
Yeah.
And another gentleman owned that middle part. He said we could, but when we got there, he wouldn't let us. We had to walk about a mile and a half to get there. And is it more accessible now, I guess, my question, than it used to be?
Well, I would say yes. That's still considered a landlocked property. The way we accessed it in 2012 was very difficult. We had to negotiate with TVA, probably the way you walked in. And I don't know if you guys have ever, don't know if you guys have ever dealt with TVA, but it took us a tremendous effort to finally get approved. I believe we're in a better position now to access through the old industrial park. I believe much more confidently we can do that. So that would be another reason to consider it at this time. One limitation we had, from a marketing standpoint, we were forced to use the bypass route that you were referring to, Mr. Key, through TVA. That's a low-lying area, and we were not able to access the property other than in the drier months because of that road was impassable. Typically speaking, in the winter months, fall, winter, you have a much better market, a little bit better prices on pulpwood and stuff like that. But I would be glad to put together maybe a better map to bring to you guys and drop it off. You can have this, but if you need me to maybe make it more detailed. The last map that I brought to you guys, I think I made over detailed. It might have confused you guys a little bit. So I tried to make this a little less complicated. But I think I could prepare one and label it to identify the 150 acres specifically that I'm talking about. And also the 30 acres, and only have those two areas on the map. So we're not convoluting the whole island.
If you could do some landmarks, like buildings and stuff that you could identify.
Yes,
So
sir.
I would like to look at it, so anybody else will.
Yeah, I would be, of course, you guys can look at your leisure, but just to let you know, I'd be more than happy to take on a showing trip to actually show you exactly what and why that you're talking about.
Scotty, what I would recommend is get us a proposal in writing, you know, with some drawings. If you feel like you can do that in the very near future, I'll set it on our work session again for August 20th. That way the council can have time to digest and have any further questions for you. Do you think that's a timeline that you can do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate that.
You'll try to get that to us this week. That'll give us a week to digest it and come back to questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
I got one more question, if you don't mind. As far as the brush goes, what do you do with it once you cut off what you leave to the trunk?
First of all, we try to use as much of the tree as possible. We don't leave a tremendous amount of brush left over. In the pine thinning operation we did in 2012, within about 3 years, the slash pile was gone. Okay, so we're talking about small diameter brush that's residual. Some of the brush that we used in some of the lower areas, we would, from the dealing, which is mechanically dealing with the loading area, we take that brush with grapples and we'll carry and distribute it. If we see a low area, if we see a scooter tire that's starting to break ground or get into a low spot, we'll actually use that to run and protect the ground and drive over it. That being said, some people who are clearing land for cattle farming or something like that, they want the property extremely clean. We can pile it and burn it, so there's no brush. But in this particular case, I would recommend that we distribute what brush that we do come across, because that blankets the ground, it protects from erosion. And over a period of time, a short period of time, relatively, especially in pine, that material breaks down. And it's essentially the nutrients and things that brush is comprised of provides a nutrient resource back to the ground for the campground.
As far as the hardwood goes, do you chip it or do you just do it the same way? I don't know if it had any value, but yeah.
Yeah, we do everything in woods, and we don't chip any of this because we use 90+% of the tops and everything like that. So, pulpwood will obviously be hauled out for paperwood sold, and that will, of course, yield revenue for pine and other pulpwood we utilize. from the tops down to about 2 inches on pine, and about 3 inches on hardwood. When you have a large hardwood tree, like a big oak tree, sometimes you'll have a big limb or a bigger top that you don't have a use for it. That's most of the residual brush that you have from the harvest job. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about that I would recommend leaving on site. You're talking about putting a golf course into a different scenario, but if you want to let the timber regrow and you're not going to clear cut, you're going to maintain it as a forest, it makes more sense to us in our management practice. We can move the brush somewhere, we can use it from the log yard. So a lot of times if we're on a slope and we're closing in a skid row, we'll put it on a slope, slows down the erosion. If we're in a bottom and we see some ground grazing, we'll put it in that rut, we'll put it in that area. Otherwise, we'll just evenly distribute crops down as an erosion barrier and just let that melt back down into the ground and nourish the soil.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Tony, could I
Sure, you go.
need to come up there, just a couple of things.
Your choice.
I'll stay right here. One thing is, Scotty's not just a forester, and he won't tell you this, he's a registered forester, but some 22 years ago, he graduated number one in his class at all. So, he's not just there's a difference in the forester and the registered forester. He has to sign his work, and he stands good for it. The other thing, you mentioned a little bit about, we do have a pine market, but periodically, we develop a cedar market, and I've gotten one developed. For how long, I don't know, but I can, if we were to make a deal, get them to look at it with us and say, we'll take whatever loads are off of it. If I wanted to add that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council.
Next is discuss Aldott resolution for Dollar General development. You have information in your packet. There's proposed development for Dollar General. I believe this is on South Broad Street. Any questions or comments concerning this resolution? I looked at the map that was provided, although my eyes are starting to go, and it's a pretty small map. I believe it's just this side of the Pizza Hut, the new Pizza Hut facility there, across from the ABC store.
I couldn't see it either. Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions? We'll put this on next week. The number 2 and number 3 are budget amendments for the street and sanitation department that we've talked about before. I just want to give a quick overview. I received a phone call early part of July by another council member saying that there were some charges that maybe had not gone through the proper process. I called the financial director and asked him about the charges and the repairs that had been done. He informed me that there were some repairs that had already been paid. I expressed my discontent to that factor, and I had payment stopped, and the vendors were notified. Due to this and some other things, I had some concerns and contacted the Alabama League of Municipalities, explained the situation to them. Their legal counsel recommended that a meeting be held between myself as council president, the mayor, and the city attorney to formally inform the mayor that any non-budgeted repairs or acquisitions made at his discretion would become his personal liability if the council doesn't approve those charges. The mayor was out of town at the time. On the 9th, I supplied in writing, informed administration that payments had been stopped on those on those charges and requested a meeting between the mayor's office, myself, and the city attorney. And a meeting was set for July 13th. I was still recovering from surgery at the time and was limited on my ability to drive. So I requested that Mr. Kennemer and the mayor meet me at my office, which they were kind enough to do. The conversation that we had was the mayor-council relationship is about teamwork, and the council didn't feel like there had been enough communication and teamwork lately. We discussed these questionable charges. The mayor expressed some concerns that he has, but I basically informed him of the feedback that I had gotten from the Lake municipalities, and that there is a procedure in place that had not been followed in these acquisitions. You have my notes from that meeting. My real frustration, I think, came from the fact that these were not charges or work that we would not have approved. It's just that we weren't given the opportunity to approve them. We agreed to work with the financial director and get a better handle on what the charges were and the process going forward. You have in your packet there, I worked with Mr. Wheeler. You have in your packet my notes as far as the charges, and I believe there's some invoices there also. So the repairs that are in question, one is in the sanitation department. It's a Caterpillar dump truck that is used at the landfill. According to some sources, I do believe that if we've got a piece of equipment, that it should operate properly. I guess the story was that it was having to be supported with another piece of equipment to be able to operate, which is a hazard. It's a safety factor. The repairs on that particular piece of equipment consist of transmission, transfer case, brake system, and electrical system. Those charges totaled $18,246. My understanding is there's monies left over in the gasification maintenance. We shut down the gasification process at the landfill. There's approximately, Mr. Wheeler, did we say between $60,000 and $65,000 left in the maintenance account for that we could move over for these repairs? The other two pieces of equipment are for the street department. One was a bulldozer that had 4 or 5 separate repairs. I believe it was tracks. I think, Mr. Smith, you said it had been done 2 years ago. I pulled the invoice on it. It was 2014, so it was actually 4 years ago that they had put tracks on it. A radiator, brakes, and heat and AC system. Those charges, when totaled up, were approximately $36,484. And then you've got another piece of equipment, a Badger, which my understanding is basically a grappling arm. Is that correct, Mr. Mayor?
Yes, they use it to clean out the ditches.
Here again, when I ask people about this, it's a piece of equipment that rotates on a base, and when they went to repair it, several of those bolts holding it on were sheared off. So again, the estimated repair on that is $29,500. Those two pieces of equipment are in the street department and would require a budget amendment on our part. So I just wanted to give you a synopsis of the process that I've gone through with this, I will take some personal responsibility, because this council has the overall responsibility from a financial standpoint. And as council president, I need to have an understanding of where we're at in our disbursement of finances. I believe that the financial director needs to be more informed, going forward with these type expenditures. What we budget for is general day-to-day maintenance. Tires, oil, things like that. Anything that's a major repair, needs to come before the council, and we need to do a budget amendment for it. That was not done in this case. We have halted work, but the work is 90% complete on this equipment. So, with that, number 3 is discuss budget amendment for the sanitation department, and I'll open it up for discussion.
I've been, as you know, I'll tell you often enough, but for 3 or 4 more months from now, I'll be here 48 years. And I can never remember a year where departments got everything they asked for, even close. And in the last 8 or 10 years, or maybe even longer, they don't get anything on capital outlay. So we having to use and reuse and reuse. And I listened to you talk about this, the first piece of equipment, and it's $18,264, whatever. But you named off about 6 or 8 things that were wrong with that thing. But yet you say it had to be pushed by something else. If it had this many things wrong with it, I don't even see how it could be pushed, much less used, if you think about it. All of this stuff didn't just happen. It's happened over a period of a lot of years, apparently. And one thing I understand is brakes didn't work, that's it, somebody said. But it just, small brakes did. They fill it up every Monday morning, and you're still working at the end Friday. They fill it up the next Monday morning. So, because they didn't have it in the budget to fix. So it ain't, I think we're blaming the wrong people. We probably ought to be blaming ourselves, and maybe whomever prepares all these budgets, gets the information together for us. But I think the wrong people are being blamed, not necessarily for you, I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, it seems strange to me that, and I remember when I was police chief, if somebody came to me, as I understand the mayor did to them, and said, if it's got a problem, fix it. Well, if somebody had told me that, they better get them about $500,000 when I was in the police department, because I can find something wrong with everything. And so can these guys. They can find something wrong with everything. And so I mean, it's easy to spend $84,000 if you just throw it out there, but somebody ought to be looking at all of this stuff before we send it down there to be fixed. Because I know for sure that some of this stuff didn't have to be fixed, but it was easy because it was open door. So I'm concerned with paying some of this stuff. And also, I believe you told me back when you called that they told you that you need to sit down and have this conversation with me. And you said to me that you asked them, how many times have I got to have a conversation with them? I already have. Apparently it didn't do much good first time it did. And I just wondered how good it will do now, because this can't continue on. For one thing, we're going to be broke if we keep spending money like this, when it starts working its way into every department. So that's all I said.
Mr. Smith. Mr. Stewart, Mr. Nashman, you have.
I've got one question for the mayor, and it's just for information purposes only. Mayor, those 3 pieces of equipment that's all listed, the dozer, the bagger, and the dump truck. Are those used on a daily basis?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? We'll place these two items on next week's meeting. That,
Excuse me,
yes, sir.
two of them, or three,
Both.
two of them. Both.
Well, all three. Two is a sanitation, or one is a sanitation department expenditure. The other two are street department, is my understanding.
I just didn't believe it.
Yeah, no, there's no. I look at on my list, if you look at my list, the first and the second one are street department.